Good morning, Sam. It is Thursday, February 4th, 2021. Today, I wanted to share with you some tips I have for managing and eliminating anger. Now, I know I'm someone who tends to become angry, whether that's in line at the supermarket, hanging out with someone, or just alone in my bed at night trying to fall asleep. And so I just wanted to share with you today some tips that I've found that really work well for me for managing that anger in my life, and in some cases, eliminating it entirely. I want to start this off by saying I don't think that all anger is bad. I think that there's often cases in our lives where there are really valid things to be angry about. There's huge injustices in the world. There's huge problems that need solving. There are things that happen that are horrifying and upsetting, and it's super important to be angry about these things. But when that anger takes over who we are, when it completely clouds our judgment, I think that causes a problem. So the first part, and the biggest thing for me, was recognizing that I am not the anger. I may feel angry. In fact, I often do, but that anger isn't me. It's something that I'm experiencing. But it's very easy to incorrectly self-identify with the things we're feeling as who we are. In some super extreme cases, I even find myself feeling protective of those things, feeling that if I lose this anger, I'm losing part of who I am. But if I'm able to, in the moment, recognize that I am not the anger, suddenly it's just a thing that I'm experiencing. It's just a thing that I'm going through. And that brings us to tip 2. And that is, if you're able to distinguish yourself from the anger, I am me experiencing anger, then suddenly you're able to watch it. You're able to see it as a separate entity from yourself. Whatever flame or fire or discomfort or irritation that you're feeling, it takes on some kind of form, at least in our minds, that we're able to view and experience. Be gracious to the anger. Treat it like an unwelcome house guest. Be kind to it, but uninviting. If you're able to recognize that anger that you're feeling as, oh, hey, I'm feeling this anger, I can see it there, suddenly it becomes far less powerful. You're not self-identifying with it. It's just something that happens to be there. And you can politely ask it to leave. Hey, anger that I'm feeling, please leave. I know that sounds a little corny, but it's definitely worked for me. And I think the key in all of this is just simply recognizing that the anger will pass. We all get angry, and then we all get calm again. That means that the anger that we experience is not something that simply occurs forever, even if in the moment it can feel, especially if you're identifying with the anger, that it's just who you are. Breathe. Now, the third piece of advice that I have is something that I've found recently that has been very effective for me. And that is, in these situations, when I have the presence to be able to see and recognize the anger, when I can feel it inside of me but know that it's not me, to simply analyze it a little bit. Think about, why am I feeling angry? What are the triggers? Maybe someone said something earlier that made me think about another thing that referenced something else, and that brought up something from my past. Once I'm able to trace those steps, recognize how it is that I'm feeling angry, suddenly it's just an indicator, letting me know that something's wrong, letting me know that something isn't working. Now, this doesn't work every time. We don't always have the presence in order to be able to recognize how we're feeling. And I certainly don't always have the state of mind to be meta enough to think about, oh, this is the thing that I'm feeling and this is why I'm feeling it. But in those times when we can, and at least for me with practice, this becomes easier. Something that for me was very crippling was able to be tamed. Sam, I'll see you tomorrow.